says solving quadratics by factoring. And so we've got x squared minus 9x is equal to 36. There we go. And I want you guys to try to solve this using factoring. Okay? I hope you look at it and you think I can do it. If you can't, I'm going to help you. See how to do this one? If we're going to be solving a quadratic like this, we need to get into standard form. Standard form needs to be everything on one side equals 0. And so this would be x squared minus 9x minus 36 is equal to 0 when we subtract that 36 over. Then we need to factor. And so we do this off to the side. Hey guys, listen up. When you get to this factoring step, there is really, for me, honestly, no requirement that you show the whole magic x split the b. If you can do this kind of thing, like essentially in your head, that's okay. Totally fine. If you can just get to a factor and call it good, I'm happy with that. If you can't, if you're struggling with that, the number that goes in the top here is AC. The number that goes in the bottom is -9. And you're going to be thinking about which numbers multiply to be -36 and add to be -9. And walking around, I saw a lot of folks had -12 and 3. And that is correct. So then what we do with that is we split the b up. So it'd be x squared minus 12x plus 3x minus 36 is equal to 0. And then what we do is we group and add, and we factor out the GCF. So in the first grouping, do you guys see that there's a common x? So we factor out the common x. The leftovers would be x minus 12. And in the second grouping, there's a common 3 factor. So we'll factor out the 3, and thankfully the leftovers match up exactly. You factor out the leftovers, you end up with x minus 12. And then the new leftovers would be x plus 3. So Grace, this is a perfect opportunity to look and see what we've done here. So far, we've accomplished something. What have we done?
We factored.
We have factored it, but we haven't really solved anything yet, right? So to solve this, I need to set each factor equal to 0. This is using the 0 factor property. And also x plus 3 equals 0. Adding 12 to both sides gives me this. Subtracting 3 from both sides gives me that. Questions? Go okay? Okay, please move on to number 2. Ready, go. Number 2. Like I said, you can, listen up please. You can definitely do the whole split the b with the magic x thing. You can definitely do that here. But while you're doing that, guys, hey, I want to give you a hint to make this a lot easier than maybe it otherwise would be. If you were looking for your a, b, and c, a is equal to 9. What is b equal to? 0, yep. And your c is? It's -16, yep. So you could go through and you could do the AC and the B and the magic X and all that stuff. Listen, please, gentlemen. Now, here's what I want you to think about. Whenever you go through and you realize your B is 0, I want you to ask yourself a slightly different question that could be very helpful. Since B is 0, that might be the difference of squares. Is it?
Yes.
It is the difference of two perfect squares. You're right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase all this stuff and realize I could use that difference of squares pattern to help this be faster and easier. The difference of squares pattern is always going to be something plus something times something minus something. And all we have to do is figure out what the perfect squares are. So 9x squared is really 3x times 3x, right? So I'm going to put a 3x here and a 3x there. And what's the perfect square factor of 16?
-4 and then 5.
Yay, there you go. So 3x plus 4. 3x minus 4. At this point, because you recognize the pattern, you factored it. I was hoping I wasn't going to have to do jumping jacks or
I was
flips.
just confused on what you were doing. I was like, I'm paying attention. Who is it?
If she was Superwoman and had that awesome laser vision stuff, one of these gentlemen over here would definitely be in flames right now, dead, yes. Okay. So x equals -4/3 when you add and subtract to the other side and divide by 3. The other one, x equals +4/3. Okay? Where do you guys stand? Are you remembering this? It's been a little while, but we've kind of been doing this the whole time. It's not like we just dropped it and picked it up 2 months later. So, all right, number 3 then, please. Number 3. Has to be quiet.
I was confused. I was supposed to rant.
I want to help you out.
Okay.
So this, as I walked around, a lot of folks are jumping in wanting to do the split the B thing, and I'm okay with that, but be willing to recognize when maybe something might be easier for you. What's the A value?
3x squared.
No, it's not 3x squared. The A value is simply
Just kidding.
3. What's the B value?
15.
What's the C?
0.
So, I have a thought for you that I think might be very helpful. If the C value is 0, then almost for certainly if it's going to factor, you're going to just think about a GCF. You're going to want to think about a GCF for sure. That's going to be the place you start here. So if you would, maybe rethink this in terms of a GCF, and that might get you off to a better place.
What do you mean?
Greatest common factor. What is the factor that both terms have? They both have a 3 and,
An X.
so factor it out, undistributed.
I fixed it.
You did?
Yes.
Did you have to peek at Cole's?
No, I actually have.
Okay.
Did Cole actually get it?
First, I thought it was no solution. Then I was like, no, it can't be right.
No, it's good.
Sick.
And by the way, something to think about, just because you can't factor something doesn't mean no solution. In fact, in Unit 9, we're going to specifically look at expressions and equations that cannot be factored, but they'll still have solutions.
Why can't you divide 3x to simplify?
Whenever you divide by a variable expression like x or 3x or whatever, you potentially lose an answer. So did you notice that on yours, you lost the, well, right, but you, of the two answers, so
Is that it? Is that how
now
far you
this,
got?
yeah, so you had this, right?
I tried
Yes,
to
I
go
did.
further.
But you didn't have this. You lost this one because you did this. Factoring is better. It's not that you can't because you did do it. You're just going to probably lose answers. So essentially, no, you shouldn't do it.
What am I doing wrong?
This is going to be a little benchmark review. So let me get to that real quick. There we go. And I want to start with this one. You guys would please take a look at number 5. Work at the big boards, or if you must, a little board. Hey guys, just watch. Compare this with what you have. Hey, please don't make me ask twice. I shouldn't have to. Okay, so really the goal here is if you're going to find the slope and the y-intercept, you need to get to the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And if you look at what we currently have, you see how this is definitely not y equals mx plus b. Isn't y equals mx plus b? Doesn't it have the y all by itself?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes? Okay.
The y is not by itself.
Oh, hey. So I'm so sorry. This is kind of challenge number 1. It's like, how in the heck do I move this and this over to here? Right? That was a big challenge at the start. So how is it? Like, how would I move that negative 5x over to the right side? No. I need to move the whole term over. So I would say, Hosanna, your idea of, hey, let's divide by 5.
No, I said
Or divide by 3, whatever it is. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, but I would say division is almost always the very last thing we do. Okay? Hey, gentlemen, chit-chatting? Please. Hey. Thank you. All right, so then if I do that, I've got 3y. Was I unclear? I asked you a question. Was I unclear? Okay, I expect you to do what I say you do. Okay, so then this equals, nope, that doesn't equal anything. Plus 33. 0 plus 5x is just 5x. Is this in slope-intercept form?
No.
You got to get the y by itself. I need to get rid of other stuff. Should I get rid of the 3 or the 33? Got to get rid of the 33. So minus 33 is how I get rid of that. This gives me 3y equals 5x minus 33. Is this in slope-intercept form? No, it is not. It's close, though. This is when I divide by 3, right? Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to divide every single term on both sides by 3. That's going to give me y equals positive 5/3 x minus, and then 33 over 3 is really 11. So then what I need to do now is match everything up. So there's my m, there's my m. So that means m is equal to 5/3. Here is my b, and there is my b. This means that b is equal to negative 11. Now, which one is which? Which one is the slope? The m is the slope. Yep, so slope is right here, and y-intercept is right here. And I've got it. Any questions? On the benchmark review assignment, there's something like this for sure. Okay? And I am making a video, so if you wanted to go back and watch it later, you can. Can I answer in just a second? I want to get everybody started on something new, but I'll come back. I will. Okay, I want you guys to try one more before we go. And it is right here. Number 6.
Oh, Lordy. Oh.
Find the slope of the line passing between those 2 points. Slope. Just finding slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Does that formula sound familiar? Change in y over change in x. I'm finding the slope. So this will be my number 2. This will be my number 1. So my y2 has to be negative 2. My y1 has to be negative 6. So it's negative 2 minus negative 6, all divided by 4 minus negative 5. Don't these minus and negatives become plus a positive? So negative 2 plus 6 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. Your slope should be 4/9. So we'll do some more of this when I see you again on Wednesday. Have a great day. See you guys.
So I'm not gonna be here